Mate, this might be alright. Oh, there might be a bit more in this than I was ready for. That big prawn down its gob. Welcome back to my lure box, folks. I don't know how long I've got today. It's been pouring rain all morning and I'm desperate to get out here and give it a crack, try a couple of lures out I've just got my hands on. But the rain is coming, and if it comes like it has been on the way here, I'm not going to last very long. Anyway, I've got a little break in it. Let's get out there and give it a crack. Right, well, I've been so keen since these dropped to give them a go. These are the new 70mm soft prawns by MMD, and man, if the smaller models are anything to go by, these are going to be absolutely fire. They've got to be one of my favourite bream lures that have hit the market in recent times, and I reckon these are going to be good for, you know, trevally, tarpon, giant herring, flathead on the flats even, things like that. So I'm going to give these a go. You might notice there's a little bit of a difference as they come in the packet. That little tail design there to allow, it's not really for action, I don't think. It gives it a little bit of action, but these are more about the profile and the fall for me. So it's not really about the action, but it just gives you a chance to be able to get this thing out a little bit better once it's hooked, I'm thinking, because I've tore a lot of these up when I was chasing bream, because they're just they're a soft prawn, and being able to get your pliers onto that hook, I just tore a heap of them up around there. So I'll have to wait and see how that goes, but I'm out here this morning. I'm going to give it a go for some trevs, and then maybe over on the flats for a few floodies and see what happens. So I'm just running this with like a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader, and I'll show you the setup that I'm going to run with as we go along. But there's a few little pieces to the puzzle with these soft prawns that makes all the difference. My favourite ones being the light ones. Look at that. We're in the thick of it here. I hope you can see that. The birds are going nuts. Let's see what happens, eh? Come on, where are they? They're going to come and grab this. Surely they... Yes, I'm on first cast. Look at that. Oh, it's just brilliant. I didn't really plan on this to start with, but oh mate, it's brilliant. But I've come out, there's birds everywhere, so I've just mowed it over towards them. We might have a bit of fun here this morning with these soft prawns. It didn't take long at all. This is one of my favourite little setups at the moment. These tiny little Stradics, these 1000 Stradics, they're so much fun in the estuaries. I love that soundy drag too. Great for YouTube, but I just love it. I've had those reels in the past that have got a silent drag. It's not as much fun. Here we go. Alright. I was thinking the flathead fishing might be a bit of a trick this morning as well, because mate, this might be alright. Because it's so dirty, but when you can find, I'm in a section of the river here where the water sort of hits itself at times in the tide, and especially when there's a dirty runoff that comes down the river, there's a mixing point here at times, and it just fires for trevally and even tarpon, sometimes jacks along here. It's just brilliant. Come up, little fella. I think you're a little fish. great little head beat. Oh, there might be a bit more in this than I was ready for. They're chasing herring, but and I could see the herring, but these prawn imitations are just so dominant. Everything loves to smash a prawn. I'm going to have to tighten up on this a little bit, I think, if I'm going to be a chance of getting it up. It's got itself sideways underneath the kayak, which is often the time when you lose these fish, is when they get themselves sideways underneath your kayak and you pull up too hard, especially a big jack or a great big flatty's face. One of the things you can do is sort of lead them a little bit, so I might try that and I'll show you what I mean. You can kind of lead them and start to win. If you swim them, they can sort of come up instead of pulling them sideways up. It's literally first cast. Here it comes. Mate, how much fun a trevally in the estuaries. Here it comes. Maybe you can see that here. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful big eye. Man, they're good fun. Give you a look at it. Come here, buddy. Oh. Oh. Come here, mate. Yeah, have a look at that. How much fun, eh? Oh, there goes some bait. He's just thrown up on camera, the cheeky bugger. Right into my kayak. Anyway, there's the little soft prawn with that tail design. And I just ripped that just under the surface, and these trevally, they love to feed up above themselves. These hooks, it's a great feature of these MMD lures is the strength of the hooks that they come with. The splash prawns, the top water splash prawns are the same, but these little soft prawns in this 70mm have got a hook that you can, there you go. See, mate, keep smashing bait. These have got a hook that's strong enough to chase jacks with too. They're really sharp. Have a look at that. There you go. I reckon we keep stuffing around with these trevally for a bit, see if we can get a few more, and then we'll hit the flats and try for a flatty. Have you scored some fish?
They're busting up all along there before.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good size on.
Nice. Mine was only small, but
Yeah, good fun, eh?
yeah, good fun. Yeah.
Hey, do you know Brian Matin?
How do you actually pronounce? I've always called him Mutton.
Yeah, Matin.
Matin.
Yeah.
Mate, he's never brought it up.
Yeah. So everyone says Matin though.
Right, Matin. All right.
So,
I'll have to tell him now. Next time I'll change it and I'll tell him why, eh?
yeah, that's it.
So he's only got one trevally, eh?
Yeah, normally every time we come here we clean up and flatties on our bank there.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was going to do the same thing.
Yeah, you'd probably go alright, but yeah,
I have plenty of donuts out here.
yeah.
Same.
That's like, normally we get like a couple in the boat, but
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
But we tried going right up to
I think water's too fresh, eh?
I think so. That's why the Trebs are loving it.
Yeah.
That's how I ran mine. Is that like a 40 or a 30? That looks like a 40, is it?
Yeah, 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And the fact you snapped the skid off it.
I dropped it one night in the garage. I was getting the boat ready. I went to take it off because I was taking the family out, and I loosened it and jumped off the edge of the boat, and it bounced off. I was so
It's
angry
badass,
and
mate.
stuff. Yeah.
Looks like you really charged hard in the creeks, eh?
Definitely.
Good on you, boys.
Oh, get into
have
it.
a good one, man.
Yeah.
Catch ya.
So it's,
Pretty new.
oh, he does treat everything a bit naughty, eh?
It's not mine, but
Well, there is no way that I'm going to be able to show you the bust ups properly with the GoPro, but with my phone I reckon I can maybe zoom in and show you a little bit. So it's just sort of kicking off now in patches, and the birds are all just waiting. They're a lot faster than me, but let's have a little look. show you some of the action. Here we go. They're just going mad for it. I can see the bait on the surface. I've got to go and cast him. They're just going mad for it. Oh, this has sort of turned into a bit like chasing tuna out offshore. You go one spot and then they pop up in another. There's all the culprits, and those seagulls are such a good tell out in the estuaries and offshore, but I don't want to waste all the morning trying to just chase the birds around. It's more like right place, right time if you get the shot. So I'll head back down towards these sand flats and maybe give those a go, and if I pass the bust up on the way, they're right down where I just was 5 minutes ago, and I left there to come to a bust up, and now they're back there again. So it's yeah, it's a bit like that. And with the kayak, even with the motor in the middle, it's a bit slow going. So I think I'll try and get a bit more focus with these flatheads. Yep. Oh, still going. Oh, keep going, keep going. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Well, I found something hitting along here now. I'm desperate to work out what it is because I've been watching the bait getting chased around these flats. Here it comes. Oh yeah. Found a little edge here where there's water really pushing over on the drop off here, and there's bait fish getting jammed along it. I just want to work out what's hitting it. It's a little tailor or trevally or tarpon. I want to know what it is. I think this little prawn's going to do it. Yep, there we go. That's more like it. Didn't take long. It might be brim, like really keen brim. What is that? Take the drag off now that I've been out here, because I tightened right up from that last fish that I had. What is it? It's a keen as massive brim. Oh, that is a giant brim, that is. Watch this, have a look. You can see that. There's water on the lens, or there's some fog on it. That is a belter brim. Have a look at that. He has just chunked that down. Oh, get a look at the girth on that. That is a really heavy fish. Look at the mouth on it, with that big prawn down its gob. Well, I've been watching the bait going nuts along here and really fast getting chased down, and I reckon they're these big brim. That is a belter. Look at the size of that. What a brute. Man. I thought it was a trevally he was smashing it that hard. It's so cool because I got to watch him hone in on it right under the surface. And this is the bigger prawn, so this is the 70mm version. Fair bit bigger profile than the little one that I love to throw around the pontoons, but it's done the job on this big brim. It's not as big as the one that I got in the first review, the massive brim that I pulled on this MMD prawn. When they first came out, I did a review on these, and I got a giant. That's getting up there though. He'd be early 30s, I reckon, probably 33 or 4 or something like that, which is a good one for here. Off you go, buddy. That's one of my favourites, which is like the live colour. And then for flatties, I'm going to be running this little pink one. I love bloodworm as well. Okay, so these are my favourite colours. And there's a little one called bloodworm. That's the other one. Okay, so they've been my 3 favourites, and I really like the light weighted version. It's a tiny little weight. You might be able to see it in there. Let's keep going. Yep. Oh, missed it. Oh, keep going. Man, I'm fishing for this like you'd fish for a tarpon. I actually thought they were tarpon initially. Like a tarpon or a trevally retrieve, and I think their brim just going mad for it. It's so much fun. A lot quicker retrieve. Yep, oh, good fish. Oh, another one. Fly fishing it back in there. Goodness me. Oh, right there. There they are, they're going mad for it. Still boiling up. Oh, is there? Yeah, I got him now. Oh, there's a little bit of weight in that. Yeah, he's a good fish. Another good one. Oh, he's caught the side. But man, I'm ripping this for a brim retrieve. He's not as big as I first thought, because I saw a big flash in the water, but it's him on his side. He's caught right inside that one. I'm just going to get him straight back in there with this. Oh, they're still going for it. I can see them like boiling on the surface here, chasing it down. It's so exciting to fish like this and watch them hone in after it. They're attacking it like trevally you'd expect a trevally to do it. Such a cool way to fish for these brim. Fishing it just under the surface, and I'm like skidding it across the top to try and bring a little bit of attention to it over these weed beds. So it's a massive flooded tide here today, and we've had big rain, and I've just got this pressure point where there's water pushing over a flat onto a weed bed, and I'm really working this brim lure hard. You might be able to pick up the line there now. It's really subtle in the water, but that's what I'm fishing along. There's like a current line there. That's it. I've got it right along it now. Hopefully I can show you what's going on here. So cool. Here we go. Oh, he's hammering it. Yep. Smashing it, like following it. Wow. So cool. Like a whiting, eh? I don't know what it is. Another, I think it's another brim. Yeah, it's another nice brim. There we go. It's right along that current line. They are just feeding so hard. Don't spike me, buddy. Don't get me. Shutters. Sick! Well, this has been a little education for me, working it out. There's a high-speed retrieve happening here, and the brim are just mowing this thing down, almost like topwater whiting fishing. And it's all come about because I was just watching the bait, how skittish it was across this edge. It was flying, and I thought they were trevally, but their brim moving just as quick. I want to go and chase a flatty though. See if we can pop a flatty on one of these. I'm going to take them. But it's a lot dirtier than what I'd usually go chasing flatties for with a lure like this. This is, it doesn't have, oh here they go, look at it. Whoa, look at it. Mate, how much fun is that? I don't know how much you can see, but they are just hammering this thing. Look, here they come. Oh, wow. It's almost like ripping a topwater lure. I'm just belting this thing in, it's getting smashed. Sick. Well, that's all it is. These soft prawn profiles, look at them, they're so realistic. and in the water they just move perfectly like a skidding little prawn. The smaller ones, I love them for bream. I've got one tied on here for a bream. Have a look at this. This is what I love to fish around pontoons and things with. These things are just unbelievable. Look how small that is. That's a little 50mm version. It's see-through, just like a tiny little prawn. And I just run these ones around pontoons with fluorocarbon right the way through a lot of the time. Tiny little 1000 size reel like a Sienna, and man, they're just unstoppable around the pontoons. I've done videos on those. I'll have to put the cards in this video so you can see those. But at the moment, the bigger one, smashing trevally just out there in the deeper stuff, and a few good bream right now. I'm gonna go try for a flatty, I think. Keep this going. Right there under my nose, look at it. Should have been able to see that one grab it, eh? Just got hit on the way in, dropped it down, and boom. So spiky. See you, buddy. Now it is getting torn up, so it's, you know, these soft prawns, they are soft and they do get torn up. Even with that extra little slit there, it's starting to get hammered, but honestly, it can't really be too much of a drama because I'm catching fish on it. I'd much rather be catching fish on a lure than being worried about ruining it and not catching fish. So the way that these things, oh, I'm not again. They're right there. Right. I'm getting smashed. I'm tip wrapped actually. It's getting smashed again. I'd much rather be catching fish. I'm getting than having a lure that doesn't catch. I'm getting hit right here. Look at this. The bream absolutely love these things. They cannot get enough of them. I don't even know if I'm going to get a flathead because I can't get through. I can't get through the bream to get to the bottom. Oh well, that might have to come in another video, I reckon. But you watch this. There are so many bream going nuts. There's a lot of bait out here today. A lot of it's fish, not just prawns. But this thing just captures them so quickly. It's amazing to watch. Yeah, boom. Wasn't even working yet. The way these things just sit in the water, the way they fall, it's so important with a lure, especially across the flats, the way that it falls. These light prawns, they're unbelievable. I actually went and got my hands on these because I wanted to bring Tom out fishing now that we're back on the coast, and he's so excited about fishing from our trip. I was like, what sort of lure can I get him to get him some action? And it's going to be these little soft prawns. I just think they're so dominant for getting numbers of fish as well. The light ones I love. I don't know how he's going to go casting them himself, but we'll work it out. I'll give him really light line, a nice long rod. He'll be alright. What little kid isn't going to froth doing this, just catching one after the other? These are the way to go if you want to get your kids going with some little soft plastics on the flats and things. You know, if they're land-based, it might be a little bit more difficult, but I'd still give these the thumbs up, even land-based, because the fish just come in after it. But out on a kayak like this, they're just so dominant. Yep, I'm on again. It's on again. These 70mm versions are probably the way to go, I would say, because you're going to end up getting, like I got the trevally, the bream, the flathead are going to take them, and you can just cast them a little bit further. So for little Tom, he's going to love this. So now we can get in on the action. The little 50mm version, the way that I fish those, really light around pontoons. You've got to be a little bit more skilled with your delivery of your casts because they're so light. Those 2.1 gram versions, but these bigger ones, yeah, look at this. It's still getting belted at that, like it's been torn up. You might be able to see that. It's been torn up, even with that improved design to be able to help get the back of the bait out of the road so you can get your pliers onto it. The fish still tend to shred it up, but they don't really care. They just keep going after it. It's got hail damage now. There's bite marks all over this thing. How good. So look, that's them. These are the new 70mm soft prawns. The first 50mm drop were an absolute favourite for my fishing in and around the canals on the Gold Coast, and these 70mm versions are just going to be brilliant across the flats. I can't wait to get my little fella and Bon out here as well. She's going to love throwing the little pink one, I'm sure, chasing flathead, bream and trevally around the Gold Coast on the flats. That's them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. There's heaps more coming despite the weather. I'm going to keep coming out here and trying to catch some fish during these nutty conditions, and there's a whole lot coming on this channel in the next few months. I've got some big surprises, folks, so stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.